The Last Showgirl, starring Pamela Anderson, who was also nominated for a Golden Globe recently, and news actually just came out that she was nominated for a SAG award as well, which after seeing this film, it is much respected. I just was blown away by Pamela Anderson's acting in this film. As most of you know, Pamela Anderson became very famous through Baywatch, which unfortunately can really put you, I feel like, in a cornered position where not a lot of roles like this will come about. I was actually reading a little bit of a storyline of Gia Coppola and how she actually tried to get this script over to Anderson, and she sent it over to her, I guess, agent at the time, who basically said no within the hour and didn't even tell Anderson. So Coppola actually had to go through Anderson's mutual friends to get through her son to her son Brandon, who then had to give the script to Anderson, and Anderson was like blown away by it, saying, you know, normally girls like me who make their living in their bathing suits don't have a lot of scripts that come across her in that way. And the role of Shelley just really hit her, and I can't even imagine anyone else playing that role of Shelley. So the plot line of this is, of course, as you can see in the title, The Last Showgirl. It is about Shelley as the main character, who has been a showgirl for over 30 years, and unfortunately the stage manager tells her and some of the other showgirls that the show in 2 weeks is going to be coming to an end. Dave Bautista is the one who portrays Eddie, who is that manager who's kind of facilitating this whole sadness of the show coming to an end and how it's going to go to this kind of neo-burlesque circus show that has been pulling in a bigger crowd, more ticket sales, and the La Razzle Dazzle, which is the show that they're in, is just not pulling in very many ticket sales anymore, which is showcasing in Shelley's paychecks. But this is kind of like this big eye-opener for her as to like, what am I going to do with my life? Where am I going to go from here? And it starts really peeling out these different layers of Shelley, which you start to see. And Jamie Lee Curtis jumped on the project because she heard that Anderson was going to be a part of it. And wow, what can I say? There is a dance scene in this film that is so entertaining to watch. I can't get it out of my head, honestly. Like, Jamie Lee Curtis really just nailed it. I actually just saw something, I feel like, with Jimmy Fallon and her doing a dance off as well. But man, Jamie Lee Curtis has some moves. And she plays kind of this deadbeat best friend of Shelley's. Her name is Annette, and she's a cocktail waitress. But just really fun to see her and Pamela Anderson interact. We had some other key characters in there. Jason Schwartzman plays a tiny little part in the end as just a director for a show that Shelley ends up trying to go out to audition for. And of course, he gives her kind of the hard truth, kind of the reality of what Shelley doesn't want to actually like see as true, which is, you know, she's a lot older and she's been in the game for a very long time, and she's kind of aged out of this new modernized dancing form, which these directors are looking for. And she thinks she has it, but, you know, Jason Schwartzman's like, you really don't. It looks like you know, were beautiful at one point for the La Razzle Dazzle, but like not anymore. And some supporting characters around Shelley, which is kind of cool, as you see that she is friends with younger showgirls. And Brenda Song plays one of Shelley's closest showgirl friends, Mary Ann, who kind of helps her get ready and gets her out there so that she can make the set list on time. And then we've got Kiernan Shipka, who most of you may have known was Sabrina, the newest Sabrina. She plays Jody again, which is like this kind of younger girl who looks up to Shelley like her mom and looks to her for advice. But through all of this debacle of the show coming to a close in 2 weeks, Shelley decides to kind of reach out to her estranged daughter, and her daughter's played by Billie Lourd, who really is kind of uncertain about really letting Shelley back into her life. And her name is Hannah in this film, of course, but one of the dynamics is that Shelley just wasn't the best mom and kind of chose the La Razzle Dazzle as like what she wanted to do in life, and chose that over motherhood, in a sense, raising Hannah as a single mom. And the storyline really just kind of goes and adapts to that relationship and that dynamic, and how it kind of pulls and tears at Shelley's heart, and also just really is disruptive towards Hannah as her child. So really just love the fact that this was also shot on film. It has this very aged effect, and it comes across in such a nice raw and edgy element, but there's nothing so flashy or fancy about this film, which I absolutely loved. It was shot in 18 days, which is kind of crazy to think about. And they shot this film for under $2 million, which is also crazy. I really feel like 2024 is the year of the low budget films. I feel like last year we just had some golden pieces that were released, and this is definitely one of them. Pamela Anderson, I really truly hope that you're able to take home an award this year. I think that you really filled the profile of what Shelley represents as a character, and it was just really cool to see that you can be more than just the Baywatch model.